Okay, it's time to create our first form in Microsoft Access, and we're going to use the form wizard to do it. You can see here I've got Acme 2007A open. It's from the Lesson 7 folder of the exercise file, so if you want to follow along and you've got the exercise files, go ahead and open up this database. I'm currently in the relationships view right here, so you can see that we've got three tables: customers, orders, and products. You can see the primary key over here in the customers table is the customer ID, which shows up in my orders table. Hopefully it shows up in the orders table many times if I want to stay in business. And then you can see in the products table here I've got a product ID and the name, unit, price, and description. And this will show up many times in the orders table as many customers will order this product over and over. We hope, of course. Now the order number in the orders table is also a primary key, so we can keep track of all of our orders. And the reason that we're going with this new scenario, you can see we've got a unit price now, and there's a quantity in the orders table. We may want to be doing some calculations with this data a little bit later on, so we've changed scenarios here to something a little more professional. So the next step is to create a form that a user will actually make use of to enter products. So to either edit existing products, review the products in the products table, or add new products as they come along. So what we're going to do first is come over to the navigation pane here, and you can see all tables is selected. So make sure that all tables is selected here. We're going to start with the products table, so it's a good idea to select it first before going up to the Create tab here on the ribbon. And we're going to create a form, so we're going to be in the Forms section here. You'll notice there's nothing that really shows up here that says Form Wizard. It's kind of hiding over here under More Forms. So we can create a basic form. This is a form that will, of course, let you enter information for one record at a time. There's something called a split form. We're going to look at this a little bit later on. It's kind of a data sheet view, and there's two sections, an upper and a lower section. Then we've got multiple items, which is kind of like a data sheet view with a table. And then there's our form design button that we'll look at in the next lesson. For now, we're going to go to the form wizard to get us started, and it's hiding under More Forms. So we'll click on the form wizard. And you can see the Form Wizard dialog box launches here. The table called Products is already showing up here because we selected it ahead of time from our navigation pane. And now you can see the fields that are available in this table. So remember what I was saying earlier, that we can restrict what information can be viewed or edited or even entered by using a form. Well, we can use any or all of these fields in our form. Now for our purposes, we do want them all. So I can click this double arrow to move them all over to the Selected Fields box. And I'm ready to move on. I click Next. Now we can choose a look for our form, and you can see by default we've got columnar, so we've got columns of data showing up here. Tabular is more like the datasheet view, so is datasheet, similar to what we're used to seeing in our tables. And then we've got something called Justified, which kind of formats our fields around the screen. So let's go back to the first one, columnar, and we'll hit Next. Now we're going to choose a style, so we can go through these styles and see a little preview over here on the left of what that style looks like. Some nice looks, and there's quite a long list. You can see as we scroll down, there's lots to choose from. I'm going to go down to Windows Vista down here and click Next. Now we can give our form a title. So Products is showing up here because it's using the Products table. That's probably just fine. You can add text, change what's there by highlighting and typing over. It's up to you. I'm going to leave the default of Products in there. And that's all the information that the wizard actually needs. Do we want to open the form or modify the design next? And you can see by default, open the form to view or enter information is already selected. If we want to go further and modify the form's design, so we're not exactly keen on what the wizard has given us, we can go in and modify the design, but we can do that anytime. So for now, we'll leave it at open the form to view or enter information, and we'll click Finish. So now you can see that we're actually in the Products form. We've got a tab here. The Relationships tab is still there, but we're in the Products form. We're seeing one record per screen. So product ID number 1 is a 12-inch LCD monitor. You can see the price and the description. Now we can move around through these various records. Down at the bottom of the form, you can see on the status bar we've got navigation buttons to take us to the next record. And we can move through the records like that. If we see something that needs to be changed, we can just go in and change it. We can go right to the very end, the last record, or back to the very beginning using the first record button. If we want to enter something new, we come over here to the New blank record button. The product ID, if we tried to type something in here, you can see nothing happens. It's because it's an auto number field. It's automatically going to increment for us by 1. So we can tab into the product name. Here's where we give our product a name. So let's actually enter something here. We'll enter a piece of computer equipment. Let's do scanner. Unit price, we'll put it in at $49.99. And when we hit tab, see how it changes to a currency field? That's because that was set up in the table. And in the description, we'll put USB flatbed scanner. There we go. Hitting tab would take us to another new record. We don't need to enter anything at this point, but you can see now we're up to 12 records down at the bottom, and that's thanks to the form. We were able to enter that new record without looking at the entire table and the entire data sheet. So that's a very simple form using an existing table and making use of the form wizard to create it for us. In the next lesson, we'll create a similar form, but we'll do it from scratch using Design View, and we'll take it a step further with some more design elements.